All right, welcome back to another stream with Unreal. Today we have basically a bit of aftermath from the Halloween one that we had last week, where we changed our backdrop to make it more Halloween-y. And today I'm also planning on trying to look at some of the new content that came from Unreal that involves some well, it's a new backdrop is what I'm trying to get at here. So we've got potentially a more wintry scene that came in free for one of the marketplace items. And I have loaded it up, put it on my computer, and it's now compiling shaders. So this is me doing everything at the last minute. And once again, I have another last minute chaotic scene over here. But the idea and the plan is to try and see if we can explore this new backdrop concept, as well as trying to, just come up with some creative ideas of where we can go with this, what else we can do to help, make our new winter backdrop a little more fun, and be authentic. It's going to be kind of an evolving process. But I do really like the fact that we're going down these directions of having, manipulating a backdrop and working with that, because it brings up all kinds of fun things that you can do as you're doing that creative process. So I do like where this is going. There is also the possibility that I may have to find something else to do today if the shaders never finish compiling, which could very well be the case. But what I have done is I've got this backdrop working, and then we also have another backdrop, which I can, well, sorry, not another backdrop, the backdrop that we did last week, which I did finish off a little bit. So I'm just gonna break my, this is a live backdrop, by the way, so, or at least it's supposed to be. No, it's not, sorry. This is great, I can do a nice clean transition here, no one will ever know. But the lighting is technically from a live backdrop, so hence why everything got really dark all of a sudden. Let's switch it over to the live backdrop as soon as I can here. We gotta basically turn off the pre-rendered one and go to our live one. No, that's not our live one either. This is our live one. There we go. Oh, maybe I have to transition it. Let me just make sure I do that. Oh wait, that's not the right cam here. There we go. So anyway, this is the live backdrop. So what you can see, maybe some of the changes and adjustments that I've done, where I've added the light to the pumpkin over here, and so the pumpkin shines a little bit better, and it's actually got a candle with a bit of a blueprint that has a flame thing on it. We can take a closer look at that. That all came from Quixel as well, and then we obviously the lamp we had here, I put a flame in there as well. So doing some fun things to adjust and manipulate these backdrops. Didn't spend a lot of time on it. Everyone keeps telling me I should like have chairs turned over and destruction and stuff, but I never didn't have time to get to it. And honestly, now that it's past Halloween, it feels kind of weird just to be doing anything for Halloween. So I have to switch to a new gear, and now we got to look for something new to put together, which is I think going to get more festive as we progress down the weeks. But I'm not going to do this every week, but definitely I think this is a good week, because yesterday I found out that one of the free assets that came out was a cottage. So we're going to switch over to our screen here and take a look at my compiling. So this backdrop, even though it was already finished compiling, one of the changes that happened, I was getting this warning that told me that there was a setting that needed to be changed. I think it was a clipping plane or something. Oh, you can even see it in the screenshot. It was under the rendering. Let's see if I can find it. Clip. Is it support global clip plane for planar projection reflections? No idea exactly where that comes into play and what it does, but as soon as you turn it on, you have to restart your editor and it has to recompile all the shaders. I did all this on the other computer, the one that's running live in the backdrop right now, but I didn't do it for didn't do it for my PC, my workstation here, so it's sitting here compiling. But inside of this folder we have another group that is for oh, I don't see it. Oh, residential house. Maybe I have to restart before we see it. Anyway, I've supposedly imported a new the new project. So actually, let's just take a look at it from the marketplace first, so I don't have to interrupt the shader compile that's going on here. Because I think what I'm going to do is show you some of the stuff I did for the Halloween thing, just to make sure we got that covered. And we move on, since I got some time to kill. And so marketplace, you go to the marketplace. By the way, marketplace is acting a bit weird to me, so hopefully this works. So for the free for the month, this month, we've got, this isn't it. We've got a few new things. They all look pretty good. I haven't looked at very many of them yet, but obviously lots of fun things. The VFX attack trails, that looks kind of cool too. But the log cabin is what I thought was kind of neat, because it's got the wintry backdrop. Not really sure yet how exactly we're going to integrate this, nor do I know what this looks like or the quality of it, but thought it was kind of fun that they had a backdrop that had a winter that was free. So we'll take a look at it anyways and decide whether or not this is something we can work with, or maybe we'll just put it together if we can and then think of another idea later on. But either way, it's one of the free things that everybody can get this month, and I would definitely recommend grabbing these things, because I think this is like $250 worth of stuff. Train Yard's kind of cool too, but that may not necessarily make sense for me right now, but it's definitely nice to see all these free assets every month. So yeah, so log cabin should be in my project soon, as soon as I restart, I think. That's the plan. Let me take a look at what we got here for the Halloween backdrop, since that is currently what's going on in my background, before I switch back to a more autumn theme. And we're going to jump into the city park. So cinematics, we got a bunch of cinematics for all the different events. I'm pretty sure in my backdrop there's supposed to be automatic or random scenes happening as well. I don't know, I haven't really been watching, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know how often that happens. It's possible that it doesn't, because I literally am doing this at the last minute, so. And we're gonna open this Halloween showcase map, which I have sort of divided it up. I have spent a bit of time organizing this, making sure that I don't lose anything, and so I can still go back to these previous maps. Oh, here we go. Loki Floki. Just a utility that pushes priority from below normal to above normal. I'm not sure how to. Not sure where that comes into play. You'll have to give me a bit more information than that. But happy to continue that conversation about what you're trying to say. You've definitely got my head spinning anyways, trying to figure out what it is you're talking about. So, Halloween showcase. Okay, here we go. So we go to the blueprints, open level blueprint. There's probably a bit of a delay between when you saw what I was talking about as well, so I have to try to remember what it was I was talking about a minute ago. Oh, a utility about the VFX thing or something, maybe, in the marketplace? VFX attack trails. For the modular snap system. Alright, so this is what I've got set up for the backdrop that's supposed to be playing in real time back behind me. It's got a system that, oh, it even does print statements. It's supposed to be, yeah, here we go, scare events. So we have 3 different scare events: zombie crawl, zombie get up, and skeleton shooting me. So they're supposed to be playing. I don't think they're working though, because I haven't seen any of them happen yet. So on begin play, it basically starts that loop circle that's happening here, where we do a retriggerable, it was working at one point, so I'm surprised it's not, or I just keep missing that it's happening. And so the level sequence player will get a random integer between 0 and 2, which is, these are basically, it's an array of events, so 1 2 0 1 2 3, or 0 1 2 I mean, and so it's just going to get 0 1 or 2 and pull it into the level, create level sequence player, and send it off. Now what happens when it's finished? Does it go back to the retriggerable delay? That is for a random amount of time, so as soon as the sequence plays, there's nothing telling the sequence to stop playing, so it'll just trigger when it's ready to trigger. So this is a random float value of 10 to 120 seconds of delay. So between 10 and 120 seconds, one of these things should trigger. It should even do a little print statement, and then one of these random scare events are going to happen, and everyone gets scared. This first part here, I think this is just playing the main level that has. Oh, this level sequence is Master City Park. Whoa. Oh yeah, no, I guess that's probably accurate. Master City Park. So as long as the nice thing about sequences is that you can play them from any map, and as long as your map has the same position or proportions. So in this case, it works great. We got a map that's nighttime and foggy. We got a map that's daytime and lit, and it's the same sequence. You just play it on one map or the other map. You're gonna get results of the two different backdrops. So that's handy. I don't have to make multiple sequences. And it's slowly coming together. Pretty sure we're not getting any dynamic backdrops. I'm still not 100% convinced that that's even a real-time backdrop anymore. Pretty sure it is though. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, that's my backdrop there. So I don't know, whatever. And so we can talk about a similar thing before I do anything different here. We're gonna jump back over to my remote computer here. I'm going to kill this backdrop. We're going to play the regular park backdrop, which is going to take a bit to load. I had to carefully get my lights to sync too, because they are running off of like basically the real-time environment here. Oh man, that didn't really kick in real time. But they also have like a what is it, like a 250 millisecond delay between what I see and what happens, and you'll definitely see in this little example here. So when I hit spacebar on my other computer, it fades to black, switches the backdrop, and comes back in, which is really fun. The fade to black is something that is a technique that's a little different than what I talked about in previous streams, and it's much better. And I've always been kind of like, oh man, I got to get that figured out, how we're doing that. But anyway, so it's kind of cool. And then you can see the lighting that it's picking is slightly different, not super different. I mean, it's slightly different for the different environment based on what it sees in the background. And anyway, it would be cool if the camera was moving, then it would be like, whoa, wow, look at all this changing lights and stuff. But since we're static cameras, it's just the way it is. So we'll talk about how we did that too. So under maps, we'll jump back to our regular, I think I'm just doing it in showcase. I don't think I'm doing it in the daytime showcase. That's kind of a weird decision on my part, but something I have to sort out. So we'll open up the daytime map here, which is still compiling, sadly, all these millions of shaders. And we're gonna take a look at the level blueprint for this one. So it's a little bit different. We've got a switch scene custom event, and the event begin play triggers switch scene. So this gets started, checks to see if there's any scenes currently playing, and if it does, then it's going to stop them. So basically, if it's this backdrop, it's going to stop the sequencer from happening, and it's going to switch to the other sequencer. So it has to make sure it stops the first sequencer first. And then we have, just like before, we have an array of sequences. So in here we just have basically 2, but I could just keep adding more and more if I wanted to, of different camera shots. This looks like it's nighttime, but it's just the screenshot's not updated. But it's basically 2 different camera angles of the same backdrop. And it creates the level sequence based on what item it is. So there's a whole system down here of making sure that our sequence item is iterating up and then comes back down to 0 and goes back up and goes back to 0. And then we just create the level sequence for that player, and we have it set to autoplay, so it just keeps going forever. Loop is at -1, and then we save whatever the current scene is so that we can call it back here and say, oh, you want to stop it before we make another one, and then make that the current scene. So that's a little thing that's happening. And then here, this is the fun part. When we say input new backdrop, when does that happen? What? Oh, this is a key command. This is when I hit spacebar. So new backdrop is just the input for spacebar, and when you press it, it does it once. You can't just keep jamming spacebar a billion times. and then we go to this is the fun part here, right? I don't know if it's fun, but for me it's like this is the big change. I used to do my fades using sequencer where you do the fade track on and fade track off. It was really complicated. I don't really recommend it. This is way better. You get the player camera manager, and then you start the camera fade, and you go from 0 to 1, and then you hold it for 1 second. Make it, you know, I can make it black, but you can make it white, fade to white, and then hold when it's finished so it stays black. So this is a little math thing to make sure that our sequence iterates to the next version. I'm using the I don't even remember what the name is for it. See, I'm not really a math guy. I just know that this function is really handy. It looks like the percent symbol, but it actually is like a way to cap and repeat a looping section. So if your numbers go, so if you go, so from 1, 0, 1, and then at 2, it'll start back at 0, and then 1, and then it'll start back at 0, 1. Even if you put like 8, it will go through that loop until it figures out whether it's one or the other. So if you put, you know, the percent of 5, you'll go from 0 to 5 and 0 to 5, 0 to 5, and whatever number you throw in there, it'll find it in that ratio. It's pretty handy. It works great for this sequence too, because I don't have to do any, you know, limit here and bring down there. When I learned about this, I was programming in Python, I was at Rocksteady, and I'm like, what is this cool thing? Why do people use it? And why does it keep giving me these crazy numbers? And I was like, and I had to go talk to the other programmers, and I was like, what does this do? This is so weird. And then he had to explain it to me, because, you know, programmers take math classes and technical animators just fake it. Anyways, it was great. So I've been using it for a variety of things lately. So anyway, here's a delay that waits for a second, because this takes a second for the delay to happen. And then we switch scene, which basically just triggers this custom attribute over here and plays this whole sequence so that we switch it to the next new sequence item, which we've now picked. And then we delay for another second. I don't remember. Oh, because we got to wait for it to load. So we're just giving it some time to make sure that the scenes load before we fade back up again. And then we fade from 1, a black, to nothing. So it fades back out. And then it repeats and goes back here and turns on our reset. So now the do once will be able to hit again. So next time you hit spacebar, it'll be able to play through the trigger. And that's how it works. It's pretty fun to set it up so that you can just like get a nice fade out, switch backdrop, fade back in. If I was clever, I'd think of how I can make this more modular so that I can just keep calling it back, because right now it's sitting in the level blueprint of our level, which means that I can only really do it for this particular map. So if I wanted it to be in the Halloween showcase or this one, I'd have to like copy paste it over. So I don't know, there's probably some smart things I can do, but it does call relative assets in your scene. So I didn't mean to open it, but like the cinematics aren't in my scene. Technically the cinematics are in my content browser and they don't actually exist in the level, so maybe I could just turn it into like a function or something and somehow use that, because you can grab all these nodes, right click on it and say collapse to a function. Because it's got an execute pin, you have to use it as a function, not a macro. And then that can be, oh, maybe you can't do it in a level blueprint. Oh, delay cannot be placed in a function. So yeah, maybe I can't do that. Anyways, you can compile stuff into functions. I guess I could probably do this one for fun, but I don't really want to spend too much time getting into this. Hey, Pietro. Hey, nice to have Pietro here. Nice to be here. How's it going? Yeah, it's going good. Once again, I'm having another stream where I'm like, geez, I sure hope this is gonna all work in the end. This is how all my streams go. There we go, compiled into a function. Now this inside here, we have all the details. That's all I was trying to get at there, but I don't know if I want to do that. That just makes things a little bit complicated. So that's all I've got for my backdrops and my scenes going on here. And now we're going to take a look at this log cabin and see how long that has to load too, because that could just be sitting here loading forever. So I'm going to close my editor and reopen it, and we'll see what's going on. How are you doing, Pietro? I heard you got a part-time job in the industry. which is pretty awesome. So congrats to that, by the way. Okay. So, see if I can find this log cabin here. Here it is. Okay, good. Maps. Okay, let's try opening this up and see how long it takes. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Map overview, demonstration map. I think overview map probably just shows me the modular items, so that's not what I want. Citra says, all good. It was a freelance job for an Italian gaming company. Wow. Very good. I don't know how many Italian gaming companies there are, but I'm glad you got yourself into that. So it was, you're saying in past tense. And I just finished my lessons. Diploma is coming in. Nice. Very good. Yeah, you had some pretty awesome artwork there that you were making during the time, so I'm glad to see that that you're finding some luck in the industry as well already, especially locally like that. Okay. That was a crash. Sorry about that. We'll see how we're doing now. This is the exciting challenges of me trying to open up random things while doing a stream. It's awesome. You never know what you're gonna get. Let me just see if I'm back on any of the streams yet. Currently. Watching all these messages come in of everybody noticing that I crashed. Apparently YouTube's fine, but I think YouTube is just really, really delayed. So I'm going to hope that Twitch is going to come back again. Oh, there I am. So I can see myself. So we're getting somewhere. I'm just gonna write something here. Okay, so anyway, we'll see how that goes. Let's go back to our screen. I'll try to make this interesting to watch for anybody that does happen to following along here. I really wish I could predict that that's not going to happen again, but it really did cause Unreal to crash. So that was a full-on, my computer monitors turned off and everything went nuts. So it's possible that I've run out of memory or something, but I don't know. I can't imagine that log cabin project is that insane that it's causing my computer to totally die. I mean, I definitely have enough memory, I would think. We'll see what we can do here. I'm scared to try it again. Alright, I'll give it one more go. Tried to open the overview map. Maybe the demonstration map is better. At least then I'll try something different. So here we go. I'll see what happens. See if I'm still alive in 5 seconds. I'll come back if I can't make it. I can see already my computer screen's getting chuggy. I tried to make the OBS higher priority here, but that's not really kicking in very well. Let's see if I can make Unreal less. There we go. We got it. We're here. Made it into the program. All right, let's see how what's going on here. Oh, there's a UE4 link you linked. I didn't even know there was a link. Going back to my history here, I still don't see a link. So it's possible the link got blocked. Yeah. I don't know how to... You could like make it so that it doesn't look like a link, maybe, just as a text. And I can piece it together and find the link. All right, we're here with the cabin. Now we've gone into from creepy Halloween to creepy cabin. Should be exciting. This is a crazy particle effect going on here. I'm hoping that once the compiled shader is finished, we'll be able to get a better better looking results here. Look at that. Giant God rays, I assume, or else I don't know what that's supposed to be otherwise. So I think part of the fun things that we get to do while we're doing backdrops is I didn't see anything. All I see is this works, so I'm gonna say no. We're getting too smart. There's apparently a way that I can approve for people to put posts on if through the Twitch, but that doesn't. You're coming from YouTube, so I don't know. It gets complicated. I'm really curious to know what the link is. You've got this concept and link and information, and I'm like, what is that going to be? Oh, there's a God Razor working now. That looks nice. So yeah, I guess what I was trying to say before was the fun thing about doing backdrops is you get to think of what you want to do to sort of customize it. And I guess that's where it's kind of interesting, is because we can bring in characters and do things, and it is a bit crazy building characters and stuff, just trying to find free stuff that's random, but that is kind of half the fun though. Got a nice like shoveled snow piles around everywhere. Some ice. I guess when 4.26 comes out, which feels like it's going to be pretty soon, we can do a little demo with the water effect that's supposed to be coming out. I know that's going to be a fairly interesting feature. And they're currently 4.26 preview 6, so now I've got a now message, so still no link. If you send me a... Whoa, there we go. Shader compiling really slow. All right, let's see if I can pull that up on Google and see what we get. UE4 questions. .19. Is this the same question answer that we're talking about here? Oh, there we go. Now YouTube is looking more up to date when I do a refresh. There is a GitHub link. GitHub link. Okay. Fix Unreal Shader priority. Inadequate computer. Unreal launches the compiler at below normal priority. Does it really? exe keeps looking for the process, checks the priority is not at normal, and then changes it if it isn't. Just launch it as you start Unreal, and it'll keep monitoring until you Control C out of it. That's cool. I get it. Although I think my problem was I was using too many CPU cores at too high of priority because it was causing OBS to not manage their stream. But this is pretty cool for knowing if you that's it. If you run it, it might speed up your shader compiling a lot. Okay, right. Yeah, I mean if it's running on low cores. Low priority, I mean. It's not a bad idea. I have seen somebody send me something like that once upon a time. I didn't realize it was still an issue, but I guess that is 2018. And they probably still kept it like that, because if you want to actually do any work while it's compiling shaders, I guess you wouldn't want necessarily your computer to be bogged down by the shader compiling, but if you can't really do anything till your shaders are compiled, then that's a different argument. And yeah, that city park has a ton of shaders, so it does take a long time to get through it all when it has to recompile the shaders. These wood logs are awesome. Is this, how is this made exactly? Is it all one mesh? It's the wall is the mesh. And then they just intersect it a little higher than the other side, and it looks like they're all working. This has a fairly obvious snow shader on it. So the chimney's a separate asset. Oh wait, the pivot point's way over there. I think it is a separate asset. So you could make thousands of unique cabins. All these modular pieces here. It's pretty cool. So what are we gonna do? Hey, there's no smoke coming out of this chimney. It just seems weird. Yeah, just keep it around. I mean, half of these things, just knowing that they even exist is the important part. Just knowing that you can search for it and find it. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do here. I'm looking for angles. Could sit at the table here. That'd be kind of fun. In terms of animals, we got some wolves and stuff we could play with. Talk about how to import wolf animations. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to jump in. I like the log cabin idea. It's gonna be kind of cool. I just have to start putting it together, I guess. So we'll make another folder called Cinematics. And we'll make a sequencer. You guys, if anybody's actually used to watching my streams, you'll be like, oh yeah, we've done this about 1,000 times. Let's see if I can come up with some way to make this more interesting. Animation, level sequence. This is gonna be shot 1, cabin. Table. Make it a cozy scene. Oh, sorry, here's a whole bunch of stuff. Toss, Loki says, toss in the fireplace with some smoke in the chimney or whatever. Yeah, so I have to find the fireplace. Oh, there it is. That's just a little chimney. They don't really have the matching. Oh, I guess they do have the chimney where the fireplace is. Oh yeah, so it does work. And then what else we got here? Make it a cozy scene. Almost Valentine's, so wow. Boy, that brings in a whole nother interesting direction. Pietro says, put a bear sleeping on the carpet. Yeah, like why not, right? It's nice and cozy in there. Bears would want that. And then and a teapot with a smoke coming out. Okay, good. I like that. Cool. That's cool. While it's nice and close in the foreground, have some steam coming out of the cup or some hot. Let's make it look like it's alive. Otherwise, it'll be a pretty static image. I mean, in this backdrop here, I got leaves falling, so it helps kind of break it up, make it look like it's not so static. But in this image, will be pretty static if I don't have something moving. Oh wait, I think these things up here are moving. Yeah, they are, slightly. That's kind of cool. So a bear walking around. That'd be good. But yeah, the subtlety is always good too. Right, so what are they doing here? Steam, just shut one table, save. Shot one. So we need some cameras, which is easy. We just drop a camera in here. And whoa, it's really zoomed in. So we'll pull that back a little bit. Oops, that's not it. Focal length? Oh no, what am I not doing here? Aperture, focal length, focal distance. What? Focal length, that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, I don't know, none of those sound right. Dust in the God rays could help. Yeah, that could actually help, really, especially since there's a window right here. We could amp that up. What is it anyways? Material instance. The color. Fade. Fade distance. Noise intensity. Oh yeah, I'm making that a lot lower. It's definitely getting dustier. Fade distance. I think they were going for subtlety and I'm going for the opposite. Look at how crazy that gets. Oh, we need ray intensity though. Like, whoa, dusty off place here. Oh yeah, the IOR. That does make it look pretty dusty. Like little puffs of dirt everywhere. So I think I need to make it more and then less. It's like a combination of subtlety here. So like usually with God rays, you can't really see it if you look at it. It just shows up on the side. So that's which is ideal. Definitely makes it look more dusty anyway. What is that little thing? Was that part of it? Wow. Got little particles flying around for sure. Exponential height fog. Oh, a door blueprint. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what that does. Oh, geez. Controllers, overlap, enable input, get player controller, enable input. Oh, disable input when you walk out of it. So we have a door, like the door static mesh, I believe is the static mesh, or at least an object. And then we have Boolean parameter is open. Parameter, I assume, means that you can, oh, these are audio components. So it's going to play the audio. Going to go through a timeline. So I'm assuming that when you open the door, it makes a noise. And it makes a different noise when it closes, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Point light intensity. Oh yeah, because the door opens, the light comes in. Cool, let's try it out. Okay, it's not at all gonna work because I am a floating character. I don't think it came with any characters or anything, did it? Bunch of props, particles. So like, I would have to have a character running around in order for this to work? In order for us to collide with the collision volume? Is there a collision volume? There it is. I still probably should have been able to collide with it though, even if I'm floating. I don't know. Also, I can't compile it because there is some errors here, which is the motion controller left trigger, which means I don't have any inputs. It seems weird that they put all this stuff in here because it's all very specific to a certain type of setup, which don't quite, and also motion controllers. Yeah, I don't know. Or you could press E. Oh, I get it now. Maybe there is a gameplay map or cinematic. I think this is the gameplay map, but I mean, I know what you're trying to say. There's only two maps. There's an overview map and the demonstration map, which I'm pretty sure the overview map just shows you all the different individual meshes. Let's try the E. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm missing here. Let's do it. Boom! Yes! Glad it worked. E. Oh yeah, the lights do get a little darker. Cool. It's pretty neat. So our bear comes and opens the door and walks in and lays down on the carpet, closes the door behind them. I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna do. It's just delayed. Oh, see, I can't even collide with the walls, so that's pretty cool. So the only way I can get out of the cabin as a flying, like, magical person is by is by opening the door. I also noticed when the door opened. Oh no, it didn't do it this time. I was gonna observe that it had like this little bit of a click animation, but it doesn't. Good. It's just a matter of getting this curve here, timeline, have a little bit of an animation that does a little click. Like this. I'm so confident in my ability here. We'll see if this is actually in any way accurate. Alright, let's do it. Oh yeah, it worked. Looked a little ridiculous, but it worked. Alright, we'll go with it. So we'll save that. So the door is pretty cool. Definitely can incorporate that in somehow. Here's a fancy lamp with the lights all connected to the blueprint. So these, you can move these around. Maybe we'll have one inside of our, by our table or something if we wanted to. Probably on the darker side of the table, I would assume. They have, oh, they have a checkbox for is on or not, so you can turn the lamp off. That's kind of handy. They actually hide the lights altogether, so they don't even change the intensity. They just hide the light. What is that? Okay, I think it's like a bread thing. That puts a bit of color on the side. It'd have to be much closer though for this to work. Let's go back to our cinematic, I guess. Pietro says, sorry, I may have took forever to read this. All right, Simon, gonna finish the stream tomorrow. Finish his stream tomorrow, 2 a.m. here. Wish I had the strength to stay awake. Yeah, man, I hear you. 2 a.m. is pretty late for me too. And thanks for showing up, saying hi. Appreciate it. Nice to talk to you. And I'll see you next time. See you on Slack. Later, Pietro. Okay, so we'll get our camera. Oh, I forgot to obviously position my camera here. We are not in the same spot as we were. I gotta make sure I key my position, I guess. Transform, lock that down. Pietro says, and that is bear feces for sure, not bread. Ah, should have thought of that. It's that bear. Well, at least we know what it is now. I gotta find a bear. It's gonna be I don't remember if there was a bear in the free wildlife animals or not. I have to go double check. I'm gonna hit G to get rid of all these gizmos. Not sure if I should put the bear feces in my image now or not. It seems like it might be a bit gross. There's that stuff up there. Technically, if you get really tight like this, the nice thing is if I can put that light on the one side, it'll actually produce a light source. Like I think it'll pick up on my lights, so I'll actually have a nice yellow light from one side of my image and a blue daylight from the other. That would be great if it worked that way. I'm just hoping though. Oh, I guess I'll be in front of the table though. That would be bad. Because there's no, I can't like crop out my, shoot, that's not gonna work. Can't crop out the bottom of my body. Well, I could, but I'd have to really work hard at trying to make that work. Although maybe that's worth it. I'd have to create a mask, put it in OBS, so I could have a table that sits in front of me. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it that way. Because it really helps this shot a lot to have these foreground objects in there. Alright, I don't know. I'm making the same decision over and over and over again. So we'll stick with that. Save the sequence. This is our shot. I should actually just, I should really have like a universal cinematic shot because I could really do with having the same master city park sequence here. So I may have to reorganize this a little bit. And that way I could just keep hitting spacebar and it just swaps to all these different things. Although when you switch to a different map, it's a whole different challenge. Right now in the backdrop here, I'm switching to the same map, just a different angle, and that's the loading time is a lot easier. But when you switch to another map, it means I got to do a whole setup. which we can talk about how to do in this stream, but it might be kind of boring. I'm gonna make a new folder. We're gonna call it cinematics, and I'll just keep that as where I put my stuff. So maybe what we'll do is we'll move this cinematics folder in here, but we're gonna call it City Park. And then I can move elements that we need out of it, like a master city park. And then we're going to call this just master backdrop. So the idea being, what is my idea? Why am I doing this? That would make that the shot. Make another setup here. Oh, hey, we got Papa Chaos just following me here. Following CG Spectrum. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna open it up and we're gonna swap it out. I don't know. I've got shot 2 in here. I've got to make it so that if I'm gonna do a render, that's why I like to add the sequence here. And so I'm gonna put in instead the I'm gonna put the table shot in there. And this tells me how long the shot needs to be. That's really the part that I was concerned about. Because right now it's only just a very, very short sequence, and I think I need to make it significantly longer. And if you stretch it out and you've got it as part of the master backdrop, oh man, I'm totally wrong about my theory here probably. I think it goes up to over 2000. There it is. There's your red dash. So this red dash is telling me how long my master backdrop is. Because it's part of the shot and I've double clicked on it, which means it's still listening to the master backdrop even though I'm in the shot table. So I know how long of a scene I have to make my shot in order for it to fit within the length of the master shot. So these backdrops, when I render them, are designed to be like a minute long, I think. I don't know. When I look at 2500 as 30 frames a second, doesn't mean anything to me, but I'll do the math right now. 3500 or 2500. I don't usually have animation shots that are 2500 frames long. 2500 divided by 30 is 83 seconds. So a minute 30 seconds is how long that timeline is. If I've got my math great. It's always the case. Papa KS, I am Loki. Oh, hi Loki. You're back on a different name. Welcome back again. Under Twitch now. That's awesome. So you were able to follow the stream now. And there's plenty of streams. I don't know if you've been following some of the other CG Spectrum streams. We have so many of them now. We just got 2 more, both 3D animation, and they're happening on Friday and Saturday Eastern time. And so it's very exciting because we've been kind of missing 3D animation from our lineup for since we started it back in June. And now we've got 2 of them. So it's like, wow, that's awesome. Went from one extreme to the other. Okay, so got my camera shot, got the length. We'll look at the camera shot again. That's the shot. What else am I trying to do here? I could talk a bit about depth of focus when I change the aperture. If my shot has enough length. Oh yeah, you can definitely get the foreground to blur out. I don't know. It depends on a bunch of attributes whether or not you can actually blur your shot or not. But I do want the focus to be pretty close to my foreground. I don't want my foreground to be blurred out. That just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to take a look at my camera component and we're going to set the focus distance. You can actually manually focus it to something. So I'm going to manually focus it to the plate, and that will at least, and then key that, hopefully. Do it again. You can track an actor. Isn't what I'm trying to do right now. Here it is. Focus on the plate. Key that. And I think we're done. There's an element of doing mask and stuff. I really like that candle flame. Wow, that is great. Let's take a look at how they did that. I was trying to do a candle for that pumpkin thing, and I had a totally different strategy because I was just trying to hack it together. But I know candles can be done very well, but efficient is the important part. How can you do it in an efficient way? And I know I can think of probably at least 3 different ways to do it. But which is the best one? I don't know. Let's see how they did this one. So we zoom in here. What do we got? We got a mesh called flame. There's a flames static mesh. So looks like it's done in the material. So which is probably the method that I would have expected, where you got a I don't know, flat plane here. Oh, I don't know. It might be an animation. I was gonna say, yeah, it is an animation, a flipbook. I was thinking it was gonna be a vertice modifying geometry, but looks like it's just a little bit of an animation. Let's go to the actual material instead of the material instance. Here's our flipbook. Sprites would have been most common way to do it, I guess, and just point towards the camera. Yeah, let's see here. So, are they doing that maybe? Let's see what they got. I mean, is it pointing towards the camera because it's a sprite? It's not a sprite, it's a static mesh. Or do they have just 2? Yeah, they have 2 planes, it looks like. Static mesh. Let's jump over to that mesh. It's just a crisscross plane. Yeah. That works, I guess. That's the old school way of doing it. Otherwise, you have to track the camera view like you would it as a particle. But to do it as a static mesh, it's kind of a bit more complicated, probably. I'm amazed that it works so well, because if you got 2 images, oh, okay, there it is. I'm surprised I'm not seeing the other plane just kind of cut through there a little bit. But you are a little bit. Anyway, it works great. I'm pretty happy with, especially having it so close to the camera like that. Oh man, you really saw the division there. But from this angle, it looks fine. Okay. So should we do a render and then try to put people in there? Maybe. We'll start challenging yourselves in that direction. So we'll talk about how to do a render. It just feels too easy, like I'm forgetting something. It doesn't usually go so smoothly like this. And then we can maybe come up with another camera angle or something. Oh, we should also take the cinematics from here and move that into the cinematics folder as well. And call this one cabin. Papa Chaos says, looks great either way since people won't be able to get that close. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, nobody will notice. And it looks good from a distance. Even close up, it looks pretty good. Shot table 1, I open it up and we go to render, and yeah, see, for me to make this my backdrop live, I'd have to go through a bit more of a hassle, as I'd have to compile it, and that alone could take about 15 minutes. Not to mention opening it, compiling the shaders, and then the whole time I wouldn't have a backdrop, so that would be live. So I'd have to do this tomorrow, or next week. for doing it live, but in the meantime, we can do a quick render, and at least I can put a picture up and have the lights work with that. So we'll just try that as our temporary, and then we'll maybe look for another camera, or we'll talk about how to bring in a character in. Let's try to bring a character in. I think that would be more fun and change it up a bit. So I've got about 45 minutes left. And then patio, it's actually going to be cabin table. Oh, and you know, there was one of the streams I was having trouble doing a render without objects looking, especially when it was animated characters, looking like it was doubling up. And it turns out when you do a render, I had it all set up in the blueprints to activate the render, but that was a mistake. That was just something I was picking up from legacy workflows, I guess. And AVI, what? And so anyway, as far as I'm aware, I'm probably going to hit render and I'm going to be wrong, but it will activate the sequence for you. You don't have to activate the sequence through the level of blueprint after all. So, all right, I think it's working. We got renders going on. And then I got to go to my resolve and do all this stuff. So do this. And then we'll go look for a bear, which could be interesting. If I really needed to pose the bear, like doing something specific, we could possibly get into talking about how to render or rig it, because it'll just be a skeleton with the animation. But in theory, if I can get a T-pose of it, well, or whatever they refer to as their default pose, could build some sort of basic skeleton for it, maybe. Could even try to use advanced skeleton, because they got some sort of quadruped type of rigs that might work, but that sounds very adventurous to me right now. Like I'm like, yeah, I could do that, but that's gonna be tricky. Oops, I opened the wrong one. Oh no, I didn't. All right. Might be something to try anyways. It would be really cool if I could have a bear that's rigged, that I could just like decide to, like, even if it's sleeping and then all of a sudden, like, first of all, you got to get the sleeping pose, and then you have to do like, I don't know, some sort of twitch or something just to make sure it doesn't look like it's dead. Breathing, obviously. That could just be kind of a fun little thing that just happens. And just similar to how we did the zombies, you could just have like random sequences pulling in all the time. So that might work. Okay, sorry, just a message on Slack I just saw. We're doing table, cabin table. I'm gonna do a little bit, oh look, patio. How did it get to be patio when I clearly didn't type patio? Well, there it is. That candle is definitely making quite a lot of action in that shot, and the fog as well. All right, so we'll export that. This is why I wanted that to use that master scene, because I've already got all the timing lined up, ready to roll. It has the crossfade and the split so that it will kind of blend in infinitely. And all I have to do is export. And this one's going to be cabin table. I didn't actually put it in the right folder. I just double clicked one by mistake. Yeah, let's do that. And then I gotta jump back to my stream here where we have these scenes and make a new one. VLC video. It's gonna be called Why do I always have trouble with this? Cabin table. It's just, I'm always like, how is it called again? Alright, and then we add the file. See if I can remember where I saved these things. Backdrops. Okay, cabin table. Now, bring that down to after the camera. There we go. So now I am behind a now I'm in front of my table. Wow, look how tall that table is too, right? Like that's not even it's not gonna make any sense. And that's why we do iterations, because it just doesn't necessarily work out all that well. You have good intentions, but I'll be like the smallest person looking over the table ever. Alright. Where are we here? Oh, big glob of goo. If you're gonna be putting a bear in there, put a hot bowl of porridge on the table. Oh, that's so smart. Yeah, why not, right? They might have a bowl in the scene somewhere. You just grab. You can get a spoon or something. You got these plates, cups. These are almost bowls. I guess you could like scale them and make them into bowls. Oh, here's a bowl. There you go. I don't think there's going to be spoons. That's just too nitpicky. Oh, a picnic table, a picnic basket. That's awesome. What else we got in here? I got definitely a variety of different kind of things. Whoa, they got something cooking on the table there. There's some steam. I don't have to make steam after all. Boy, that does make my life a little easier. What is that? Stew, I guess. Oh, we've even got sound effects going on there. If you use a picnic basket, put a hat on the bear. You're just full of ideas. Yes. We'll go with all the gags. We'll see how many people pick up on these things. No, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to. First, let's get the bear in. I think that's the challenge. If we get the bear in, I'll be happy. Let's see here. Definitely get steam coming out of the bowl. Wait, it's too low. Oh boy. That's a lot of steam out of a bowl. That's super hot. Oh my goodness, I cannot get the stupid thing to stay in the right spot. It's gotta be like, stop cutting through the bowl, man. There we go. That kind of takes away a little bit from the cup that was supposed to have steam, but I could, we could go in there and make some modifications to the particle maybe and figure out how to do that. But that gives us another moving object though. That'd be kind of nice to have that balance. I do have to change the camera angle though, because clearly it's not making a lot of sense under the current circumstances. I think also the zoom has to be cranked up because we have too much. That makes sense. Yeah, I think so. Maybe we can back it up a bit. Oh, we're gonna get the bear feces in here after all. If we do that. Oh no, it's all baked lighting. Means I'd have to go and do careful light baking again, which might take a long time to do. See if we can get the length to be tighter. Back it up a little bit. Oh, come on, what did I do? Alright, well that does change the angle. What do you think? That might work? I don't know. Definitely have more table to cut off. I still think I'm going to be really close to the camera. It's not going to work, is it? Like, it's just that unfortunately my camera is set up in a way that I'm really tight to the camera. And that means that this is going to be really tough to get that to fit. Or not, or I'm going in the wrong direction, but I believe that's what's going on here. It's kind of not feeling like a cottage anymore when you zoom it in so tight. Just feels like I've got a lot of stuff in my picture. Well, we'll move that back out of the way. It might actually help out some foreground elements. And I might just sort of say, whatever. We'll just back it up a little bit, and that'll be it. And we'll move on to the bear. Trying to get lower so we can get the apple in, but it's getting to be an angle where I'm really close to the table, but realistically the camera is about eye level, so I should actually be up here more, to be fair. Oh, maybe that is the angle I'm supposed to be hitting right now. Alright. Save. Key the position. Render it out. I gotta move those frames over still. It's so slow process here. And then we'll talk about bear. How to do the bear. I gotta find the project. Project's in this folder. Backdrops. Saved. Video captures. This all goes into the cabin folder. Or, no, actually I should probably, well, yeah, I should probably just delete these. And once that's finished, and oh, let's rename this again. Don't know what happened that last time. That was a bit weird. Go. All right, let's go take a look at, while it's doing that, at the marketplace for the wildlife animals and see if there is a bear in there or not, because I don't actually know if there was. I know there's a wolf. Also, I don't remember if I have it or not. Might not be free, which I can't remember. There was one that was free. Let's go take my library and see what we got here. Not called wildlife. Oh, there's one. Animal variety pack. Which one's that one? Got foxes, pigs, deer. Oh, deer and antelope. Oh, not antelope. What am I trying to say there? Reindeer. Reindeer. I don't even know this. It might just be fox. So we got foxes and wolves and pigs. I don't know if pigs are gonna work. It seems a bit strange. We got crows. Definitely could probably get away with some deer walking by in the window. I should probably just put that in the project anyways. Oh, darn it, now I've lost it. I'm just gonna do a bear search, just for fun. Some of these bears look really good, and some of them look very typical of bears that would be in a video game, because doing fur is very complicated. It's actually quite possible to do a fairly decent fur illusion using a type of shader that creates this look of fur, but or you could do, you know, the hair cards style. Wow, that is a rough looking bear. Looks kind of like a teddy bear. All right, so no free bears. That's all right. We're gonna work with what we got. Library, and we're gonna get that animal and put it as part of our project here. So we're gonna add that to the add to project. Backdrop is what I'm looking for. There we go. Oh, it's already in there. No kidding. No, that was easy. It did it. I must have did it before. Yeah, animal variety pack. There we go. They're right there. All right, so we're ready to roll. Let me finish the render, get that set up, and see if that makes any difference to our decision of what we're gonna do next. All right. I gotta turn off my backdrop in order for me to be able to overwrite the video file. There's our live backdrop there. And then we're gonna try to do this cabin table. There, works. Go back to Unreal. And sequencer is good to go. I want to mess with the camera by mistake. Oh, look, it's really choppy. There we go. What are we gonna do here? We can't do the bear sleeping anymore. It's got to be something cool again. Let's try the wolf. And then, you know, we definitely could have a deer walking by outside. That would be fairly normal and expected. Oh, they got to walk through the snow though, so that does get a little trickier probably, but it would sort of feel more natural. Or the fox. Yeah, that's true. The fox is pretty cool. Fox is tiny. Let's have the fox in the house. Ah, yes, that's probably what you're trying to tell me. That does work well. I like that better than the wolf. All right, skeletal mesh fox. Plus, he's small enough that you probably can't tell that his fur is going to be really like not supernatural. He's not going to be able to see seen in the shot though. That's going to be a whole different problem. So we're gonna have to make sure that, dude, wolf wearing grandma's clothes. Greatest idea ever. Period. I like how, yeah, you both came up with the same idea there. Sorry, I don't know what the timing was. Maybe that was a coincidence. Maybe you guys just, anyways, right, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't know how to, yeah, realistically, that's not realistic. I'm not gonna do clothing on a bear, or even a, yeah, a wolf. I mean, that would be there would be two challenges. You got fur and clothing. Man, oh man. Actually, it's funny enough that we're talking about clothing. There was a post that I put on the library channel today for Unreal that was it was this is real-time clothing, which is very cool. I didn't even know you could do I mean, why not, right? Yeah, sure, you can do real-time clothing. If you look at Marvelous Designer, you've got real-time clothing happening. But to really get that kind of nice, clean look to it, like that's a really, like, especially when they lift the legs like that and you can see it all change positioning. I mean, we used to come up with all these crazy hacks to get clothing look good, where you'd be like changing the normal maps and doing all this funky stuff, but to actually get like real-time rendering of clothing is really cool. And also apparently it's pretty cheap, like you can do it quite affordably, and that really does make you know, if we're talking video games, you know, maybe it's affordable, maybe it's doable, I'm not sure. Maybe, like, you know, obviously in the future, but maybe not right now, I don't know. But for doing short films and stuff, it's like, wow, this is such a huge hurdle getting solved. You don't even have to simulate the clothing, you just sort of like do your animation, the animators can see what the results right away. Very cool. I just found that today when I was scrolling through my LinkedIn. Big Blob of Goo, one of the animation studios who did one of the episodes on the Netflix show Love, Death, and Robots, used real-time clothing. Wow, I didn't know that. That was really neat. I've watched quite a few Love, Death, and Robots, but I haven't watched all of them. They get a little disturbing sometimes. You never know what you're gonna watch. You watch it and you're like, okay, is this gonna be funny or very disturbing? And then and like, how much nudity is there gonna be in this particular short? You just don't really know. Like, I'd like to show them to my kids, but I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna take that risk without pre-watching it first. It's just, you don't know what you're gonna get. But I do like the fact that they had that creativity to, and the opportunity to do it. I mean, it's pieces like that that really push the envelope on the whole industry. And like what you're talking about, it's real-time clothing on. I mean, that's really cool. Yeah, Big Glob says, not a kid's show. That's right. I wasn't sure what to think when I first watched it. And then I quickly realized, oh, I see. This has got all kinds of stuff. Master. What I want to do is get back to the scene here and get the camera shot in there so I can figure out where the fox has to go. There's a way that you can set it up where you can have a cinematic viewport. Whoa. I don't know if that's what I wanted. Forget how you do it now. You have, like, you can see the cinematic camera in the corner. Shoot. Forget. Alright. Here's our fox. What would we do with him? And should we put him in this shot? Maybe we shouldn't even put him in this shot. I don't know. Let's see what this cabin table looks like, by the way. Alright. Let's go back to the camera here. So, if I'm standing here and I do a cutout where the steam will be in my way. Steam's in the foreground. This is going to be tough. I don't know. A lot of foreground elements that are going to be really tricky. I think the steam alone is going to be the hardest one, because how do you get the steam to, like, it's a transparency element. So maybe I could just put the bowl off to the side more instead. Anyway, it needs a little more thought. So maybe the fox isn't going to, maybe we could do another shot and think of where to put the fox. Oh, season 2 is supposed to come out this year. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. Well, I will, I'll keep that on my radar. Big Glob of Goo, have the fox jump on the table, eat some food, and then jump off. And also, I didn't realize season 2 was that close. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what's what more content they have for another season. I wonder how many seasons they're going to do that for, because it's like you can pretty much go on forever, really, as long as people are watching it. Well, based on all the challenges we had for our foreground elements, I'm definitely gonna have to rethink my shot. And I do like that you can see the table from this angle, but man, it's like this bowl definitely has to be moved to avoid the conflict of the fact that it's right in my way. I can move this. No, I don't know. Doesn't necessarily need to be moved. What else was we dealing with here? Pots and stuff. Everything's really high. And if we could really raise it. I do wish that lamp could stay nearby, though. It does feel a little bit out of place when it's so low. Lost that composition. That was nice. I guess if you just do this, right? Why not? You can just do that. Oh yeah, so the fox is gone. That's the other side of the complication. So now, like, you know, if it was a bear, you'd have enough room to be able to see the animal. So if the if the fox was animated in the foreground. Oh yeah, but I can't because I'm gonna mask it out. I can't mask it out very well. Oh geez, I wonder if there's like a way that I can like get a render pass of just the mask and use that just a still frame. Like I know when you do your renders, you can. Let me just make sure I don't lose my angle here. When you do your renders, there's a special section in here that do custom render passes, and in here now you can choose which render pass you want to do. One of them is like stencil. These all sound like brilliant for what I want, but then when I do it, it never works out, and I've never really spent enough time to figure it out. There's scene depth. That's pretty good. You could increase the contrast and change it based on the thing. But yeah, again, I don't know. I have zero luck with this stuff. We just do like a quick, I guess we could just do a test render here. There might be something about like, oh yeah, see, it's not even in the right angle. That's ridiculous. There might be something that like is involving a refresh process or something. Oh, never mind, it does work. There you go. There's our depth pass. So the black is the foreground, the white is the background. Got our little fox in there. Why is the fox darker? Oh, maybe it's the same color. That's just an optical illusion. So I mean, I could change the contrast and play with it and find out how to deal with that based on that one image. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna send this to Photoshop. See what we can do here. Because I only need a still image to do the whole why can't I think of what I'm trying to say? Stencil? I don't know. Alright, for some reason I just can't come up with a word. Brightness and contrast. Let's see what happens here. Increase the brightness and the contrast. I don't know. Can I get this to be more than that? I'm not a Photoshop user that knows much about it. Exposure. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's pretty good. So if I can get it to be like that, and then we just can make it like make it darker again or something. Brightness, contrast. Like I just basically want a 2-color set here now. There we go. Now the only problem is I think white is the part that is, I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me just try this. So we'll save it, and I can always just flip it quickly as long as I keep it in the same spot. We're gonna do. Gotta go back to backdrops, foreground, mask. Oh, I should call what it is. Cabin table. But yeah, if we had a fox that was moving around, this would be obviously really hard to deal with. I'd have to have like 2 videos playing, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to support masking from a video perspective. This is also not going to make a lot of sense because I have to. It's not going to match my it's not going to match perfectly. That's the problem. Filters. Add a filter effect with a image mask. Hey, Oscar. With a thumbs up. Path, cabin, foreground, open. So what's going on here? What have I done? It's backwards, right? Yeah. That makes the foreground. It's backwards. Okay. Is there a flip option, or do I gotta go back to Photoshop? I think I gotta go back to Photoshop. Oh, I'll just keep it and then we'll flip it. Image. How do I invert? There we go. Save. Saving as a PNG. Haven't seen what it looks like yet. Oh, it also hasn't updated, so that's not good. Didn't fix, did it? What did I do? What did I not do? Oh, I went to demonstration map. That's not right. Save as. Why did it go to the other spot? Vision. Collective vision, backdrops. There it is. Save. Yes. Okay. There we go. Now we're getting it. I'm in the way. Let me turn myself off. Yeah, there we got the foreground there nicely cut out with the backdrop that has no logical no logical sense in here. I think you'd have to have 2 cabin tables. You'd have to have a cabin video. Well, Jesus, I'm having trouble here. This, I guess it would just be an image. Man, so many thoughts and ideas here. I don't have to have a video play. Oh no, I do have to have a video play because it does this fancy. And look, the flame didn't work. Must have been for some reason. It does have to be a video though. Too many thoughts at once. Just ignore my rambling. A duplicate or just add a video. And this is gonna be cabin table backdrop. Oscar says I am back. Don't know if you mean that you're back and you were here and you weren't here, or we're talking about a different week and you're back, or if you're just a different username and I'm getting confused. Cabin table. Okay. Cabin table goes underneath cabin table, and I gotta be in the middle of that. There. Yeah, that makes no sense. What? How come we're missing the bowl too? There's no bowl over here. Oh, look, it's there, but it's not there. Oh, shoot, I must have done a mask issue there. That is that is bringing up all kinds of problems here. I look like a giant in a giant weird scenario. I don't really know what exactly I'm doing here with this one. So I changed the angle, didn't I? I thought I changed the angle to be different. So yeah, I did, and that is not the right angle. So what happened here? Where did I make that mistake? I thought I did a render and it would have given me the new angle. Don't know what happened. Somehow I've gotten the wrong image. Because, oh, I know what it is. It's probably just a, I mean, I don't know if that's true though. Let me just see here. What do we got for a mask here? Masking. Like, it's pretty accurate though, really. Oh, there's a little flame behind there after all. Something's not quite making sense. I made a mistake somewhere and I don't know what it was. Because technically, this should have came through differently than it did. Oh, look at that. When I tune on the camera for that, it's showing a different angle. So obviously I did something weird where it didn't store the camera angle I had. Ah, that's too bad. All right. So we gotta change it again. It's too bad. I think I had something cool happening there and I forget what it was. Basically get lower. Maybe get less steam in there. Try to reduce the amount of table so that I'm not sitting so close to the table with my chin like I am right now. It's like I'm literally on the table here. It's gonna be weird. I wish I could just test it with my face in there a little better instead of having to eyeball it all the time. You can definitely see Mr. Fox back there at least, so that's good. I'm gonna go with this, and this time I'm going to, oh look at this, I've got keys in the wrong place now. So delete that. Delete that. Key all these. Ah, for crying out loud, it's messed up again. This is so normal. I wish I could say that this is unusual, but it's so normal that you have your cameras are all set up and then you forget to key something and then you got to do all your cameras again. Like this is such a normal problem. Even with Matinee, it was like that. All right. Now you can't see the fox very well at all. Oh, it's so boring. Okay, key that in. Does that make sense? Did I put it back again? Does that feel good? I think so. I've only got like 9 minutes to go here, so I'm really trying to push it together here. Oscar asked, what software is this? Oh, sorry, I missed that question. Oh, and then you said I was there for your last video, so I'm back this week. Okay, thanks for clarifying. I appreciate making more sense now for me. So welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. What software is this? This is Unreal. We're using the cabin environment that's free that you can download as of this month from the marketplace. It is available. There's always free stuff from the marketplace. This one's worth about $250. But anyway, it's this product here, so you can grab it right now and play with it. I'm trying to make it into my camera background so that I can have some foreground background. We're trying to figure out how to make this fox so that he does something cool. We're not going to get to that today because I'm just barely getting this concept figured out without losing my camera angles all the time, which is very annoying. Master backdrop. I'm going to do a render. We're going to try to get that render pass in there again. Oh, I can't even do it for some reason. Do I have the window open somewhere? No, that's not it. Here it is. Where is that thing? Here it is. So, no problem. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Custom render pass. We're doing a render pass. It turns out that scene depth world units actually worked out quite well, I believe, was what I was using. Wait, when I clicked on it, it disappeared. What does that mean? Oh, making multiple passes. Jeez, I didn't even realize you could do that. All right, scene depth. That's what I used. Worked out well. And then I just have to play with it in Photoshop to change the contrast. I might even be able to do that straight in OBS. I'm not even sure. If I can, I guess that's not a bad idea. If I was to have a video of it, that was a mask. Oh, yeah, no, I don't think I can do that. It just has to be a still image. So we'll just do another capture movie. I'm going to get rid of some frames. It would be really nice if I can just get this foreground done before the stream is over here. That would be cool. So I do the render and it's going to produce images in my folder, and then I will cancel it because I don't need all of them. I only need one. So here's all the images it just rendered. Looks better. We even got a little fox in the background. Go through the process of opening it in Photoshop again, down to what do we got? 6 minutes. Then we crank up the contrast again. This time I'm going to use the exposure. That seemed to be a lot faster. Crank up the exposure to just the threshold where these objects are in the scene. And not anything else. Okay, and then we crank up the brightness and contrast. So lower the brightness, increase the contrast. I got this little guy in the corner here, that's not very good. Let me just do that one more time. Brightness, lower, contrast, increase. My little eraser tool here. Oh, I do have my eraser tool here. Oh, no, I need my paintbrush. Don't laugh. I'm not a big expert in Photoshop here. Ah, Jesus. I don't even know how to get my brush size bigger. There we go. All right. And then you got a fast machine rendering pretty fast. Yeah, I mean, I do have a fast machine, but it is real-time rendering. This is the great thing about real-time rendering, is that you get really fast results, even when you send off the renders. Okay, that's good. And then I want to invert it because it's the opposite. And I think that's what's really interesting about doing film work and stuff in Unreal, because of the fact that you get that really fast feedback. And I mean, if you're doing a film-based workflow, you still do need to render it like I am with render passes and everything. But you can make really fast iterations, and that is a huge difference compared to even today when you're trying to do a render in Arnold or something. It's or whatever rendering software everybody uses. It still takes forever. Okay, there's my new mask. I don't think we're seeing it yet. Hold on. Oh, even if we are, hold on a sec. Even if we are, we don't even have the environment ready. Right. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. Okay. And then we're going to turn off custom render passes. We go back to just regular PNG. And we're going to do cabin table render, capture the movie. Save selected. That's going to set up the renders for just regular image-based renders. So we should be seeing just the regular image. That looks a little darker than I remember. Kind of cool though. Work with that. And so that will render for a while. We got 3 minutes to try and get this to convert. I don't know if that's going to work out, but we'll see. There's 2,000 frames it has to render. And then, let's see. Next week, what we're going to try to do is have, you know, hopefully I'll be able to have some time to R&D a little bit about the Fox idea. It would be really nice if we could like think about, first of all, what we're going to do with the Fox. That would be really handy. Also, what we could maybe animate it and get it rigged up to do something. That would be a lot of fun. We could, although I'm not going to do this because it sounds too risky, but we could try to rig it in Unreal and animate it. But I would rather just start with a biped and try to do a crazy quadruped in Unreal. That's just too much new stuff at once. But if I can just get it like a trial run of trying to use advanced skeleton on the Fox and see how it goes as a offline thing, then maybe we'll be able to find out if we can kind of hack that together and have ourselves some custom Fox animations. Yeah. Can you rig in UE yet? You can play with it. It's there. It's actually been there since 4.21, but it hasn't really been, and it still isn't considered finished. It's just experimental tools, but 4.26 may have some interesting stuff that they updated again. 4.25 definitely had their fair share of updates that were pretty interesting. So their goal is to have a system that you can rig in there, and there is a lot of fun things that you can do by having a real-time rig. And the setup is definitely a lot different than what you're traditionally used to in a hold on a sec, in a like a Maya setup or something. Save, place. Good, it worked. Papa KS said, can you rig in UE? Oscar says, that would be great to see if we can get the Fox to work. And Papa Chaos says, I think I would maybe add some cloth to the rug on the beam. Oh, like get that fabric to do something. Make it move a bit. Yeah, I mean, they do kind of have it already for the other material. It would just be a material movement rather than actually making it into a cloth object. I can look into it, and maybe we can, in the next stream, and maybe we can get it so that we steal some of the, basically it's just vertice movements, and maybe just grab some of that functionality and put it in there so we can see what it does. If they've already made it so that it sways nicely and naturally, it would make sense. There's a little bit of a breeze or current moving in that area, and you can have it doing stuff. Let's see what we got here. This is the new backdrop. And it's got tiny little things like a little lantern, a little pot. The smoke is cool. I mean, that is definitely feeling like it's, I don't know if I can tell or not, if it's in front of me or behind my hand. No, it's definitely behind my hand. Yeah, so I mean, you know, the lantern just seems too small to be that close to the camera, so I'd have to maybe do some more tweaks, but I think it kind of works. Sort of fits with my face, I guess, in a way. Actually, what it really highlights is how my resolution of my camera is not as good as it needs to be in order to keep up with the resolution of these items in the foreground. And I still feel like the pot looks tiny. Like if it's in front of me, it should be bigger than what it would be in relative to my head, and my head is huge, so we'd have to do some serious zooming in to make that work. But anyway, we got some foreground. I've never done foreground in front of my cam before, so that's a little different. Kind of fun. I'll leave it there, though. We've hit 2 minutes after the mark. Thanks for everybody who showed up today. I really appreciate everyone having a little bit of a chat and joining in with me as I try to figure out what the heck I'm doing in each stream. But I do have a lot of fun trying to come up with ideas on the fly. It is kind of exciting. Papa says it's just some iteration, scale it up. Yeah, exactly. Just a camera change. We should be able to make it work. Smoke looks cool. Yeah, I think it works better over there when it's on the side. So we'll see. Anyway, lots of fun today. Thanks for everybody for showing up, and I'll see you guys again next week. Take care.